use explicit violence in your writings?
It's what I do, is one answer. I write horror fiction. There is a kind of curiosity that we have as human beings about our life processes. One of our last life processes is death. It's a legitimate subject for curiosity. We shouldn't be ashamed that the macabre or the morbid exercises some fascination upon us. I tell it like it is. If it's there in my mind's eye, I put it on the page. And that seems to me to be a legitimate way to write.
Thank you, everyone, for joining the Written in Red podcast. That is the Horror Reader and Writers podcast. We are back with episode 21. We're drinking age, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll have a beer to that.
Yeah. You'd be fucking drinking regardless, but...
that's true, too.
That's your crackish nature. But that's why we love you, you know? But today we got to... Well, it depends on who you ask, but... I think today we're going to have a lot of fun, though, because as you know, this episode should be airing a little bit after Christmas, I believe. So it'll be post-Christmas, but it's holiday horror, guys. We all love holiday-themed horror here, I assume.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
For different reasons, probably some holidays more than other, but we've got a conversation about writing holiday horror and, just a few things maybe to take into consideration if you're planning on doing something that's themed, just the pros and cons of writing holiday horror. But before we get into that, we're going to have a author spotlight for Briana Morgan, and I'm going to get into that in a moment. But first, let's go ahead and do our introductions. I'm Aaron Beauregard, the Splatterpunk Award-nominated horror author of The Slob, Son of the Slob, Wedding Day Massacre, and a whole bunch of others. And we also have Daniel J. Volpe.
Hello, everyone. Daniel J. Volpe, author of Billy Silver, Talia. My newest book, Left You, is out now. And actually just today, my novella, A Gift of Death, came out in audiobook. So check that out on Audible. Raw Dog Roland Bursey.
Hey, everybody. Roland Bursey Jr., author of Unbortion, winner of the 2020 American Fiction Awards. And also Payback is a Witch and Pre-Thanksgiving Stress Disorder. A couple other stories in anthologies coming up pretty soon. And Carver Pike.
Hey guys, Carver Pike, the Splatterpunk Award-nominated author of Slaughterbox, and I've written the rest of the Diablo Snuff series. The Maddening just came out not too long ago. I've also written my parasitic head lice book, Scalp, and Grad Night, and a handful of others.
Awesome. We are the Written in Red podcast people, so let's get sort of right into it, right? Let's start out with our author spotlight. So this episode, we're going to be talking about Briana Morgan, an indie author. She has pretty prominent Instagram and Twitter following from what I've seen. And she has, I believe, 8 books out now. So what we'd like to do is spotlight one of her most well-known books today. And then I'll kind of just tell you about a couple others that she also has available. So I'm going to start with, I believe this was her launch book, The Trick-or-Treater and Other Stories, which was released back in December of 2020. And I'm going to go ahead and just read the blurb here. You can find it on Amazon. It's in paperback for the more than reasonable price of $6.99. It's on Kindle and also on audiobook. So you have a plethora. Oh, that's rolling shit right there.
Yes. Brianna, you just got a sale.
All right, well, let's, so just to talk about the blurb, first, the cover's pretty cool. It kind of gives me
I was going to say, I like that cover a lot, man. That's a kick-ass cover.
Yeah, it's kind of like a house, and, you got the creepy creature with the eyes lit up, and I'm just always a big fan of those sort of pinkish purple and and blue colors that they're almost
Oh,
like 80s-ish kind of, I love it. But let's go ahead and take a look at the blurb here. So the trick-or-treater is going to stop at your house tonight. You got to meet with him and do what he says or else. So this is a collection, and so there's kind of a line here about each story in the collection. A woman agrees to take part in a creature's sick game to save the child she loves. A girl and her mother move into a nightmare house, and two brothers embark on a high seas treasure hunt. In this haunting collection, Briana Morgan shares stories of love, loss, and horrors, both real and imagined. And it's got a 4-star rating, 71 ratings on Amazon. So
That's awesome.
Seems like it's well received, and yeah, sounds like a good one. If you like short story collections, I think it's always a good way to get introduced to an author. Sort of digest something small. What do you guys think?
I'm definitely gonna pick that one. No, you said that was that it was $6.99.
In paperback, it's $6.99. Yeah.
Damn, that's a good price.
And the audiobook is only. The audiobook is $4.86, so I purchased it. So
wow.
Check it out.
Yeah, that's more than affordable, especially you're looking to try out a new author. $4, that's like a cup of coffee, dude.
So does it seem like this is a holiday horror themed book? It'd be perfect if it was.
It seems like at least one of the stories appears to be holiday themed. I don't know if I know she did just release. Which is funny. It's a holiday horror episode, so it's probably good to talk about A Trick-or-Treater Christmas, which it looks like that's, I believe, her most recent release. And
it says that's not even out yet. It's up for pre-order. It says it's released on Christmas Eve.
Oh, there you can read, Daniel. I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. I graduated high school.
Yeah. So that's up for pre-order. That's probably something if you're looking for holiday horror. And I know that I've seen her other book, Unboxed, which also has a 4-star rating with 65 reviews on Amazon. And that one's only $9.99 in paperback. What I found interesting about this is it says that it's a play as well. So I'm kind of curious. I'm going to take a peek inside here.
And actually, the pre-order price for the Kindle version is only 99 cents. And it looks like that's also holiday horror because this is a holiday horror story. So purchased. I can't wait to read it.
That's awesome. Thanks, Roland. I'm gonna check it out too. I'm sure she appreciates it. What do you call it? So Unboxed is pretty interesting though. That one, it looks like it is actually written like a play. Like I'm looking at the interior. And it's formatted like you would when you're reading a play, which is kind of cool. Which means I guess it would be adaptable onto the stage too.
I've seen a mouthful of ashes around too. That's a really cool cover with kind of like the Ferris wheel in the background, but it has like the vampire mouth with the woman on the front.
Yes,
I've seen that around. That's a really eye-catching cover there, especially with the neon. It definitely kind of draws you in, and then you realize like the vampire mouth there. Roland, that's on Audible as well, just in case you're wondering.
I'm just looking at it. Yeah. Nice. I'm gonna go pork buying your books, Briana.
You put Roland.
I was gonna say, and Brianna's like super cool too. She's like very into like her readers and stuff like that. She's one of those people that I don't think I've ever. I don't know if we've actually talked to each other, actually had a conversation at all, but we follow each other on TikTok and Instagram and stuff. I know I like a lot of her stuff, and she likes some of mine. But I watch it. She constantly puts out stuff on, I know she's very active on TikTok and Instagram. She's always putting out like really funny videos and stuff like that, and reaching out to her readers and stuff, and very approachable and stuff like that. She really definitely gets that side of it, being interactive and stuff like that. So that's really cool. So anybody that's not already following her, you definitely need to. I'm not sure.
Right now.
It's
She's under Briana Morgan Books on Instagram, so I'm following her right now on there.
Your girlfriend is spiky.
God damn, Carver.
Can you close the porn tab for Christ's sake?
Yeah. He's on the old hub. Get the hub going.
I was trying to see if I don't know if she's under if it's under her name on TikTok or.
Nice. Well, Aaron, if you can put up her information, I don't know if you can do that after the video.
I have all kind of capabilities, Roland. You're not gonna believe
he
it.
could do anything.
I'm a fucking.
I cannot wait to find out what other capabilities you have.
Yo, play your cards right. You might find out. No, but the Mouthful of Ashes is
I don't have it on
is
there.
really cool, Daniel. I agree. The cover's stunning, and this one was just released October 4th of 2021. So really, you guys got your pick of the litter if you find it interesting, because all of this stuff is really affordably priced, to where you're not going to be taking a hit, and who knows, you might find a new favorite author.
Very nice.
But yeah, so shout out to Briana. Again, it's funny. Like I feel like we'll follow different people online, and although we don't have conversations with them, like we just know each other kind of because you see each other's shit around.
Yeah,
that's just what authors do. It's weird, but it's a good thing, So yeah, be sure to check out Briana Morgan on Audible, Kindle, paperback. Pick your poison.
Nice.
All right,
hey,
guys.
I'm gonna cheat real quick. I didn't even tell you guys I was gonna do this.
Oh shit!
But I don't give a shit because that's how I roll.
Oh shit!
Yo, you fucking gangster.
No, hey, since this is the holiday episode, I totally wasn't even thinking about this. But just the other day, I got a package from Eric Butler. His wife bakes and stuff, so she sent us a rum cake and like some cookies and stuff like that for the holidays. And he threw in his brand new the collection book he has, the Dawn Texas collection.
Lucky.
Yeah, so this, I don't know if you guys follow, we've mentioned Eric Butler. I can't remember if did we highlight one of his books, or I think we did Public Massacre, right?
Yeah, we did Public Massacre
a while back. Yeah, so I know we've had him on the show before, but he's recently been putting out these shorts called the Dawn Texas books. They're like 1952, 1969, 1865, and 1926. I don't know if you can see that, but he put them all together in a paperback. And so yeah, he sent that to me for Christmas. So I thought that was pretty sweet. That's really cool. And so I thought I'd show that since we're talking about holiday stuff. Anyways, yeah, go ahead and pick up that collection too, because Eric is a friend of the show and a really humble, great, just really nice guy and great author too. So
good
thank
human
you, Eric.
being.
Thank you to his wife too for sending us those sweets.
Nice.
Just like Eric, very sweet, a sweet person, and we appreciate having people like him in the horror community because, with assholes like us, it's like you have to make up for that,
Yeah, I think the term I used in the last episode that people seem to like was douche canoe. So there's a lot of douche canoes out there, and Eric is definitely not one of them. Eric is a fucking rock star. So
there's a lot of cuckery in the community as well. And
we need to get Eric a T-shirt that just says "Not a douche canoe."
Yeah, and it has like a picture of a canoe covered in vinegar with a big X on it.
Ooh,
that's it.
Should put real vinegar on it, give it the scent and everything. It's new. That's new age shit.
Merch right there.
All right. Well, again, that's Briana Morgan and Eric Butler. Check them out, and that is our author spotlight of the day of the episode. It's pretty cool. Huh? I wish we could do this daily. Imagine like we got fucking paid for this shit. Just fucking staring into each other's eyes majestically.
Right.
Be great.
Hearing Daniel call us names.
Yeah. I'll just call you up every day if you want, like a daily insult.
I need the 365-day flip calendars you just rip off. Like, what did Daniel call me today?
Yeah. That's funny.
Well,
coming soon from Written and Read.
Since we're on holiday shit, I just want to say I'm very proud of myself because I've now seen the 2019 and the 2006 versions of Black Christmas. Before this year, I had never seen any of the versions of Black Christmas. So,
well, there's the original Black Christmas that's way better than both of those by Bob Clark.
That's the one I haven't seen yet.
You watched the fucking 2019 Black Christmas, and you have not watched. Are you
Okay, so
fucking
here's-
Carver? You're gonna give me a fucking aneurysm today.
I picked up the 2006 one at Goodwill, right? Because I told you we don't really have bookstores here in this small town in West Virginia. So
Is that where you got your haircut?
anytime I buy books, it's either on Amazon or like Goodwill. That's about it. So I pick up DVDs every once in a while. What did you say? What did you say?
I said that's where you got your haircut.
Oh, fuck you. I fuck up my hair. I cut up my own hair.
No, your hair looks
No.
fine,
No,
Carver.
we can't tell. Go ahead, continue.
So I bought the 2006 version and it was sitting on my shelf for like a fucking year and I just hadn't seen it. So this year I was like, all right, I'm going to watch that one. But anyways, the 2019 one was on like HBO Max or something. So I just hit play and watched that one first. It wasn't that bad, man. When it was in the theater and I saw the trailer, I thought it looked really lame. So I didn't go see it in the theater. 2019 wasn't that bad. It was different from the others for sure.
Yeah, it's
Totally
a bunch
different.
of. I think I'll put it this way. I think of you differently as a person after the statement you just made.
Okay.
Like your whole moral fabric has been altered in my eyes after that. No, but you got to see the original. That's the fucking dude. That's like the first slasher movie essentially. Like with the first
Is the
person.
original the same as 2006 though? Is like 2006 a remake of the original, or are they all totally different stories?
I like 2006. 2006 is a great remake. The gore is awesome. It's very fun. But the original is like Halloween often gets credited as being like that initial sort of slasher movie to bring the wave in. It was actually Black Christmas. So
yeah, a lot of people name Black Christmas as like one of their favorite horror movies and favorite slashers and stuff. But
Awesome.
But I'm still not getting the answer I'm looking for though. What I'm asking though is if you were to take the original one, is the story the same with 2006? Did they just make a remake of the old one?
It's pretty
Is it pretty close?
There's
Because 2019 is totally different. Like it has nothing to do at all with 2006.
Yeah, it's shit.
So
now the 2006, the whole thing with like the sister Agnes, that's different. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
the first one is the original, the classic, the
Billy,
creepiness. Billy's in it still, but
okay, all right, yeah, I'll watch that one. I think it's on one of the streaming channels we got. So
just fucking don't be raising
I
that
don't know
blood
how I
pressure
never
on the
saw
spot
it.
like that.
It's just one of those I never watched for some reason. I don't know. Growing up, it just never watched everything else. But so, did you watch Trick or Treat yet, Daniel?
Is that the one with Sam, the little Halloween guy?
Yeah.
No, I haven't fucking watched it yet.
Fuck you, man. God, just watch the fucking movie.
I'll watch it on next Halloween, I think.
Well, there's the okay.
No, watch it. You don't have to watch it on Halloween. Watch it tonight.
Nah, it seems like it's a seasonal thing, like pumpkin spice.
Well, that's actually the whole fucking point of the conversation. Really, that's a great segue.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Okay, because that's part of what we're going to be talking about here. And what you said, I kind of agree with Daniel, only because we are in Christmas zone right now. And Christmas zone to me is like this. I feel like Christmas is different than any other holiday. Like if you were to set a horror story in it, or any story for that matter, it has an expiration date to me. Like you can only watch it in that certain period. And other holiday shit doesn't seem right to watch around Christmas. So it's like, to me, a Halloween story is pretty much good year-round except for Christmas. Christmas is only good for like, you know, November-ish and December. And maybe a little January you can get away with. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Yeah,
No, I
agree.
agree.
I agree. Unless
I don't
it's
think-
like Home Alone. For some reason, I can watch Home Alone anytime, but
Yeah, Home Alone's different. That's not really. I mean, I guess it's horror to Harry and Marv as they're being fucking tortured by this little shithead. But other than that, you can watch that any time of the year. Even the
or
second.
Gremlins.
Oh yeah,
Gremlins is another plus.
Die Hard, right? People say that's a Christmas movie. It's a whole debate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would watch
somebody
Die
raised
Hard.
the point the other day that Rambo was a Christmas movie.
Now
Did you
people are
see
getting
that?
ridiculous. Yeah, they're getting ridiculous.
Oh,
Somebody
I
got
saw
into
that.
the Die Hard argument and posted a meme that showed in Rambo there was a Christmas tree in the
Christmas
background. I
Yeah.
guess there's Christmas lights inside the police department or something. So they were saying if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, then Rambo is too. And
Well, Harry
Got
Potter.
that
Harry
argument,
Potter
but-
would be a Christmas movie.
How was Harry Potter a Christmas movie?
I saw
They
that on the
fucking
Christmas
celebrate
list
Christmas.
recently.
Oh, I guess you're right. Okay.
Never seen it.
Huh?
Never
You
I
never
think,
seen-
I think
I'm not
There
playing.
are-
Never seen any of them.
there
Really?
are Christmas horror books too out there, which obviously you guys know I'm more of a horror reader than a movie watcher. Joe Hill's Nosferatu is set pretty much in Christmas land, and it's probably
Yeah.
I'd probably say it's his best book, unlike The fucking Fireman, which was a complete 700-page heap of shit. Nosferatu is excellent, and if you guys haven't read that, it's a perfect. If you have like a long Christmas break, it's a perfect book to read because it is long. It's probably 700-800 pages long, and it's definitely a good Christmas kind of story. So definitely check that one out if you haven't read it yet.
Oh,
See now, I think Joe Hill did it right though with Nosferatu though, and I haven't read it yet. But just the fact that, like, I know that it kind of is a Christmas story and that it is set with Christmas land and stuff like that. But it's not really pitched as a Christmas story, and I think that's where he did it right. And I don't know if this is where you were going with that, Aaron, where we were kind of talking before, at one point where, as an author, I'm still hesitant. I wrote a Christmas story once before. It was on the romance side of things, but I wrote a Christmas story. It was called A Climax for Christmas. And the fact that I put Christmas in the title, I really limited myself because the story it actually is about Santa Claus and stuff. So I mean, it is very Christmas related. But that book will not sell unless it's during Christmas time. Like, I can't. If I pitch it any other time of the year, no one's gonna buy it. No one gives a shit about Christmas stuff unless it's Christmas time, right? Whereas, so I was gonna say, like, I have a story I'm working on, a short story that I might actually put in a collection called Old Folks Home, that is set during Christmas time. I was going to actually try to put it out for the holidays, and I didn't. But I'm purposely not tying it in with Christmas. I might mention in the blurb that it's during the holidays or something like that, but I don't want Christmas in the title. I don't even really want the cover reflecting too much Christmas stuff, because I want it to get around that, yes, it involves Christmas, and it does have something to do with the holiday, where you would want to read it during the holidays. And by word of mouth, when people ask, hey, what's a good holiday horror book, someone might mention it, like Nosferatu, right, like you did. But it doesn't get stuck with that stigma of only reading it during the holidays.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my question to you, Carter. Like, do you see enough of an influx in the sales of that story or book, do you think, to justify kind of shoehorning yourself into a holiday story, a holiday book?
No, in fact, when it's my fault at this point. It's an old book. It's one of my first books and stuff, and I really don't promote it at all now. But even when I was promoting it, I really just didn't feel like it did much. First of all, especially with romance, during Christmas time, everybody writes a Christmas book. And I mean, there are so many Christmas and holiday anthologies that come out around the holidays all at the same time that it just kind of gets buried and stuff. But to me, I was excited to write a Christmas book. It was fun to write. I was ready, I wanted to put something out for the holidays, and I thought it would do really well. I mean, I thought, hell, if this works, I'll write one for Valentine's Day. I'll write something for, every holiday. But I didn't see much from it. And then at that point, I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing that again. It's not worth it to put a book out specifically for a holiday.
Let me pose this question then. I'll pose this question to Roland. So, that being said, and you don't have any holiday books, right, Roland?
PTSD.
No, PTSD, Thanksgiving stress disorder. It's, it happens around Thanksgiving, but it's actually not about Thanksgiving. Not at all.
Yeah. And I think you can actually get away with Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Even with the word Thanksgiving in the title, I think people are probably not going to want to look at it during the year. I think it's going to put them off from that, which is terrible because I think it's a great book. And so far, a lot of people are saying that's one of my best books, which I just thought it was a good book. So yeah, I'm kind of bummed that I have the title, the word Thanksgiving in the title, but I think it's such a clever title that I wouldn't change it.
Mm-hmm.
That's with my Christmas. Go ahead, sorry, Aaron.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that as far as Thanksgiving goes, to me, I don't feel that way about Thanksgiving. Like, I could see something about Thanksgiving like any time of the year kind of and be good with it. So hopefully that's the attitude that your readers take. I just think Christmas is its own sort of weird space. For some reason, just because of, and I know you get Halloween decorations and stuff, but there's just something about the Christmas decorations that, I don't know, it's just in the music and everything. It's very specific. But and I think it's kind of global to some extent too, right? I mean, it's not everywhere, but it is somewhat global. Whereas Halloween, I think, is much more United States oriented and maybe UK and stuff. But
actually, now that I think about it, the Maddening is basically a Christmas book. I mean, throughout it, I mention Christmas songs playing. I talk about the decorations. I mean, a lot of it takes place, at least the last half of the book takes place right around Black Friday and afterwards. But again, I don't market it as a Christmas book. I mean, there is Christmas time going on, and I think anybody that really loves Christmas will get a kick out of that. You know, like there's the haunting, like kind of a haunting version of Little Drummer Boy that plays. That kind of taunts one of the characters because the song's playing. There's a character whose wife basically tries to stab him to death, and she has that playing in the background, and so it kind of like taunts him through the rest of the book. And like that kind of stuff, it makes it a Christmas-themed kind of book, I guess, but you don't see that in the blurb or anything like that. You know what I mean? I didn't try to tie it into Christmas, really. I think
the happy balance as authors, right, would be if you are going to write something that takes place around Christmas, don't make that overly obvious in the cover. Especially if you're relatively early in your career, in my opinion, right? Because if you're early in your career, you don't want to shoehorn yourself into these very specific things. You want people to be able to buy all year round. But if you do have your heart set on writing a Christmas story, I think maybe a happy medium would be like to take that Christmas theme, sort of like Carver did, but then you look at his cover, it has nothing to do with Christmas. And I don't believe the blurb did either, right? Not specifically, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, what is cool too is that like when Christmas does come around, then you can do a post, add a little like flair or something like that, and be like, you know, this book takes place around this time, and you can maybe get the best of both worlds with that approach.
True. So
it's kind of funny. Like, go ahead, Daniel.
Oh no. So what I was going to say, I think a strategy that if I was going to do a holiday story, especially a Christmas story, that I would probably do is I would make it available for only a limited time. So kind of like you see all these retail stores and restaurants and stuff, because we were talking about pumpkin spice, you know, that shit only comes out certain times of the year. So if I was going to write something like Roland did PTSD, like a novelette-sized story, I would only put it up on Amazon or have it available from Black Friday to January 1st. That's the only time you can buy it. So make it like almost like an exclusive thing, you know, because people probably aren't going to buy it throughout the year. You know, because like you said, Christmas themed horror is very specific, and there's a good chance you're not going to buy it throughout the year. But if you start hyping it up around October and beginning of November and say, hey, listen, once a year for, 30 days, I'm going to release this book, and it's going to be, available on Amazon in paperback only and signed copies only. You might have kind of like a driving force with that. And I think that would probably be, if I was going to do something holiday themed, especially Christmas, that's what I would probably do.
Smart.
I could see it. But I think for me, I would prefer to go the route of the happy medium, where it doesn't look, unless there's like something that I want to be super Christmassy.
Yes.
But I don't think I would do that until I've written at least 20 books. Personally.
Absolutely. Like Scary Bastard. Scary Bastard's a Halloween story in my opinion. I think, Aaron, you'd probably agree that it's a Halloween story. But I would never look at the cover of that. There's no jack-o'-lanterns on it. I mean, because the fucking head get ripped off. But there's nothing that screams that this is a Halloween story. So when you start reading it, you say, oh, this is a Halloween-themed story. It's got, all the elements of it. So like you said, that's kind of the happy medium thing. Carver, like you said, with the maddening, you have Christmas themes in it, but it's not portrayed as a Christmas story. But I think if you were going to do something that was a hardcore Christmas story and that you were all in on it, making it limited availability, especially if it's something shorter, would work. But Aaron, I understand definitely what you're saying, that if you don't want, like, if you write, like Carver, you did The Maddening, is what, 100-something thousand words. I wouldn't want to shoehorn that either into a Christmas book, because you're only going to sell it, 1 month out of the year.
Yeah.
So I would definitely market that as a traditional book, and then, as people read it, they're going to start saying, like, oh, what's a good Christmas book? And other people might promote it for you as a Christmas book, but I wouldn't label it personally as that.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're going to write Silent Night, Deadly Night, where Santa Claus is killing everybody, I mean, then that's obviously has to be a Christmas book. You can't really do a happy medium with a book like that where you're,
exactly.
it is Christmas. I
Yes.
mean, there's no getting around that. You know what I mean? But that's a little different. But
Roland, what do you think, man? Do you think will you be pursuing any more holiday horror early on, or do you have plans for any other holiday books?
No, none in the immediate future. But I think I would avoid even mentioning anything about Halloween or any holiday on the cover, because, like Daniel said, it's going to be very limited to the sales when you can sell it.
Because actually, Daniel, when you think about it, we did a Halloween book together too.
Yeah, essentially. And again,
I kind of forgot about it, but I was like, oh yeah, that
that's
is like really a Halloween book.
But
we have a jack-o'-lantern as our magnet.
Yeah, book I can see that selling throughout the year.
It has too. Yeah, it continues to sell.
We're so sorry we didn't. Halloween is like an undertone, like it's just kind of in the background. It wasn't designed like, all right, it's Halloween night, like all this bad shit's happening, because the book begins in the winter. Yeah, for both perspectives, like it's February, it's bitter cold out, and the culmination is in Halloween time. So it's not a Halloween story like revolving around it, but Halloween is definitely in the backdrop with the decorations and obviously some of the imagery that we use. So we
definitely didn't beat them over the head with it. You know what I mean?
No.
Like we didn't, But at the same time, when you see the cover, I don't think it comes off like a holiday book at all. It's the fucking disturbed bum next to the bloody donation bin.
No, it
doesn't. You could see some foliage. Sure, if you turn the book around and look at the back, there's the Flesher-Lantern. But I think I don't know. And again, for me, Halloween's different, but that might not be that way for everybody. A vote. Who can read Halloween all year round?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just like watching the Halloween movies. I mean, shit, I can watch Halloween movies. I can watch them on Christmas.
Yeah, I just won't watch Trick or Treat. Everything else, like, I'll definitely watch, but not Trick or Treat. But no,
at this
definitely.
point, doing it just to be a fucking douche canoe.
A douche canoe. I'll watch it paddling in my fucking douche canoe. I'll watch it and I'll never fucking tell you. Take it to my fucking grave. But no, I think especially in a horror genre, like when we had our Halloween episode and we talked about everything we did as kids and stuff, like as horror authors, Halloween is ingrained in us. Like that's never going away, and that's all year round. We like the scary shit. That's why we write what we write. So Halloween is never going away. If we were writing books that were going to be on Hallmark, we might fucking write Christmas stuff all year round. But we don't. We write disgusting, depraved, filthy, violent shit. And so yeah, Halloween all year round.
Nice.
What do you guys? Let me see. Let me ask you this then. Does anyone? Well, actually, Roland, you just released yours on Thanksgiving, so you don't really have a barometer to compare it to before that. Because the question I was going to ask, and Carver, I know you gave your opinion, right? That do you see specific sales surges around particular holidays? And you said yes, right? With the Christmas book.
Yes, if I promote it during that time. But like I said, even that's tough because of being such an old book, and people are. I think it's almost like the Hallmark movies with Christmas. People want the new Christmas stuff every year. Yeah. Like the Hallmark movies, everybody's looking for the new. Jules is huge into these Hallmark movies and stuff, and we'll sit there in front of the TV, and she'll be like, "No, if it's anything before 2019 I've seen it, so let's just keep going to 2020, 21. You know what I mean? Like, they want the new Hallmark Christmas movies. They don't want the old Christmas, unless it's something classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, even Christmas books are that way. There are so many coming out every year that unless it's something that's like a classic, it's a hard sell.
Well, that's what I was going to say too, is oversaturation. So we saw during Halloween how many publishers put out Halloween anthologies. Every year you see Halloween anthologies, and I'm sure some of them are amazing and they have great stories in them, but there's such an oversaturation of Halloween anthologies and Christmas anthologies. So it kind of gets to the point where, like you said, Carver, when is enough enough, and have I read all this before? So it's kind of one of those things where for Halloween anthology, you just there's so many of them. So how do you differentiate what's good and what's bad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it becomes and I also think writing a book that is heavily Christmas themed is a weird thing. Not so much like what you wrote, Carver, but like, let's say you wrote a book about, go back to Killer Santa, right? How to get in that fucking holiday headspace to have it ready for Christmas. You're probably not writing it during Christmas, which is a little weird in itself. So, I mean, it's kind of tricky. There's a lot of tricky elements to the holiday horror, I feel like, now that I'm thinking about it. Because I haven't done anything that's like Christmas themed yet. I do have
definitely music and playlists. I mean, I've looked up, like, I have for the old folks home one that I was doing, I put together there's a lot of creepy Christmas playlists you can find on like Spotify.
Oh, nice.
Just creepy versions of Christmas songs, where they're like haunting kind of sounding versions of Christmas songs. So if you can, like, that helped me with writing, because I was definitely writing it out of the Christmas season. And I'll go back to finish that story at some point, but it's a shorter one, so I'll probably put it in a collection or something like that. But that helped me anyways.
Aaron, the one thing that I'll do in my next book, Only Psychos, is I like seasonal horror. So I will try to set my book in a certain season. So like Only Psychos is set in the middle of winter. I don't really talk anything about Christmas, but I could have thrown something in there about Christmas. Just kind of like we did with So Sorry, where we touched on fall with the leaves and everything like that, and then touching on Halloween. I like the seasonal kind of thing where you can kind of mix it in there and put some of the holidays in, 4th of July, and then getting into the spring and talk about Easter and stuff like that. So I won't pick one specific holiday per se, but I could mix it in there along with the seasons as well.
That's a good point. Seasons can be really used to your benefit. Like I just finished writing Modern Hysteria, my last novel, and I needed a way to get this depressed kid like really isolated, like even more so. He doesn't have any friends or anything like that, right? And he's very depressed. And so I was like, oh, well, it really makes sense to set this in the summer, right? He doesn't have any friends and he's out of school. So it's like there's even less connection to humanity. You're really all like bogged into yourself. So you could really make that season work in your favor of your story and the atmosphere you're trying to create. You know what I mean? Have you guys done anything similar to that? Like thinking about like how you want your character to feel and like shit like that?
I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Only Psychos is like that because it's set in the winter and it's set during a blizzard and it's in New York. So, it's getting dark early. It's horrendous snowstorms. So that feeling of isolation, like all of us, I mean, maybe not Roland, but we've all of us for the most part been trapped in snowstorms before, especially Aaron and I in the Northeast. Like it's creepy when you go outside and you have 2 feet of snow on the road and there's no cars, there's no plows. And there's like that eerie silence of the snow. Mm-hmm. And you kind of set that atmosphere where even though your neighbors are around, there's people that civilization's out there, you do feel like you're almost like in space. Like there's nothing around you. Like it's like isolation. And like Aaron said, using summer as an isolation, winter with a snowstorm is just as easy, if not easier, because you now have a physical barrier with the weather.
Right, and that's a good distinction, right? So with your story, you use the season as a physical isolation. With my story, I use the summer as a mental isolation. So like
awesome.
more than one way to skin a cat, both just as effective for different reasons, right? It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And Roland, I'm sure even with you, with being in the South, especially with Louisiana, with the flooding and stuff like that. I mean, that's a volatile situation where I got stuck a few years ago in Pennsylvania, and there was some flooding. We were coming back up from Maryland, and it wasn't obviously horrific like Katrina or anything like that, but the roads were washed out. So roads that we thought were open, all of a sudden were washed out. So it was like being in a maze that was ever shifting. So again, that's another. Maybe not. I guess it kind of would be seasonal hurricane season, but definitely something that you could incorporate and kind of have those shifting tides with the ocean and the levees and stuff like that.
That's actually really interesting. It would be a great
welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, already.
So sorry or est.
Yeah.
Speaking of Christmas, I'm gonna plug somebody's book right here. Did y'all see the Human Centipede?
I saw the cover.
I saw that on Facebook the other day.
I just want to get it. I'm going to hold up a picture if you guys can see it. Can you see it?
That's Adam Millard, right?
Millard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
I can put it up on the screen too.
Put it up if you can. Oh, wait.
It's hilarious.
So funny. I was like, oh my God. I bought it just because I have to have it now.
I mean, who wouldn't want to eat Santa's ass, you know?
But now, more importantly, are we going to reenact that, and are we fucking drawing straws to see who's going to be Santa?
Oh shit!
Red and red, you and Centipede.
Hey, I call the caboose.
You look more like Santa than anybody, Aaron.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
That's what our written in red holiday parties are like.
That's OG shit.
Daniel, you kill deer, so it would be like the reindeer. You'll be eating the reindeer's ass, and Carver would be eating Aaron's ass.
Wait, what? Why I gotta eat Aaron's ass?
Because I don't know.
Yo, don't ask questions. Just do it, man.
And Roland's just out there eating everyone's ass.
Just go with the flow.
The caboose.
Get off. My turn. Nah.
It's like a smorgasbord.
Yo. That's a good segue, Roland. Why don't we talk about some of our favorite holiday themed horror?
Let's see. Do I have any that I've read recently? I have to think.
I know.
What about you guys?
I'm trying to think too.
I want to say was it R.L. Stine was one of the Fear Street books. I think he had one. It was like, the fuck was it called? There was some snowman on the front. I vaguely remember that one. I don't know that reading that as a kid, but definitely I think Nosferatu. That's probably my favorite. I guess we wouldn't call it 100% a Christmas story, but that's definitely probably one of the better Christmas novels that I've read.
And another good one, Night in the Lonesome October by Richard Lehman. That's set around Halloween. That was really good. And you could feel the tension and the atmosphere. It felt like Halloween reading that book. Like just how, I can't even explain it. It just felt like Halloween. Even though the story took place around Halloween, and I think it revolves around Halloween if I'm not mistaken. But something about it just made me get even more in the mood when I was reading it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And honestly, not to sound like I'm fucking trying to kiss his ass or anything like that, because I fucking never would, but I really did like Scary Bastard as a Halloween story. Aaron did a great job with it, and it had a great killer. It had great scenes of violence. It had good characters in it, and just really like memorable kills. So that's probably the nicest thing I've ever said about Aaron, and probably will be the nicest thing I ever will say about him. But definitely Scary Bastard by Aaron Beauregard or Beauregard or however he wants to pronounce it.
Beauregard,
whatever. But no, that was definitely a great Halloween book to read.
I can't think of.
As Matt Shaw would say, I've read it and it's shit.
Yeah, he's awesome.
It's great. Like every time somebody posts one of his books, he's like, "I've read it. It's shit." We got to do Matt on one of these upcoming episodes too, because we have our collaboration that we're working on, and I want to talk a little bit about his work and what I read that made me want to collaborate with him.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's any other holiday themed. I mean, there's movies out there like the fucking phenomenal Leprechaun. I don't know if that's based around St. Patrick's Day, but I don't care. It's still excellent.
And then there's Black Christmas 2019.
Don't say that, Carter. I'm just gonna punch you in the face.
Cuck.
Oh, and I gotta mention
Aaron throw a fucking temper tantrum.
Carver, you're gonna be eating a fucking reindeer's ass in this human centipede.
Yo.
The book I always talk about, The Haunted Forest Tour, it takes place on Halloween night, I think.
Oh, it's Jeff Strand, right?
Jeff Strand, yeah.
Jeff Strand's awesome. That dude's hilarious.
Yeah. Mr. Strand. Oh, who the fuck? Ray Bradbury, right?
The Halloween Tree?
Halloween Tree, but what's the other one? It's escaping me. No, it is the Halloween Tree. I'm sorry. It is the Halloween Tree. Carver, did you end up reading it? Because you said you were going to read it this Halloween, didn't you?
I was planning to, and I started it.
You fucking watched Black Christmas 2019 instead, didn't you, you piece of shit?
Huh?
You watched Black Christmas 2019 instead, bud?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I'm reading right now. I just started on my Kindle is Ronald Malfi's Snow, and I guess that's Christmas themed because he's trying to get home to his kid for Christmas. So I guess it's kind of Christmas themed. I'm still writing the beginning of it, but definitely the snow and that. And you guys were talking about atmosphere and stuff. I haven't gotten very far into it, so I don't really know what's going on yet. But
what about
for
atmosphere? No, I haven't read it. I have Bone White. I have a signed copy of Bone White from him that I won during Dustin's auction. And actually, Ronald Malfi is a fucking super nice guy. I had a nice long chat with him on Facebook, and I sent him a copy of Left to You. So he's definitely a cool dude.
I've got Bone White on my Kindle too. I haven't read that. I haven't read any of his work yet, so this is my first.
Atmospheric, and this is a shout out for my fucking main squeeze, Donna Latham, Misery. Misery. I mean, Paul Sheldon goes down in a snowstorm, and Annie Wilkes sets up on his ass.
Yo, his shit gets fucking toe up.
Great book. And definitely, probably what Donna's going to do to me in April and scares that care. So, guard your ankles.
Right.
No, it's a cool book. Definitely.
That's a great one. Yeah.
I mean, The Shining also.
Yeah. So, given all that we talked about, would you guys be hesitant? Y'all pretty much saying you'll be hesitant to actually do a holiday-themed story.
I would do a holiday-themed story, but I don't think I would do a short story for an anthology. If I was going to do something, I'd probably stay within the 10,000 to 15,000 word range and release it as a special edition novelette.
Gotcha. But
I don't see the money or the readership in a short story, nor would I want to invest that much time in doing a novella or a full-length novel. So for me, that 10 to 15,000, where I could print out a couple limited edition copies, maybe a chapbook, and maybe just do it as a holiday promotion. That's where I would be.
And I would do something like Nosferatu, I think, where I would, as we were talking about before, during the holidays, I would definitely make mention that it's set during the holidays and that it, had Christmas. Was it called Christmas Land?
I think it's Christmas Land. Yeah.
Something like, I would mention that stuff during the holidays, but then when it's not during the holidays, I just wouldn't. I would just promote it as horror and stuff to where it kind of benefited me in both ways. I'm not saying, I do have some ideas for holiday collection type stuff that some ideas that I've got, but it's a little different. So I don't want to talk about it yet, but I've got more planned for it. But
we haven't talked about.
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead. Finish up, Carver. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I don't think I would write a specific holiday-themed story like a Santa Claus trying to kill everybody type story now, because I've just seen how it goes, and I know it's a hard sell after that holiday.
And Daniel, before you go, just to kind of answer Roland's question from my side, I probably won't write anything that is like you said, like Santa kills the town, until I hit 20 books. Once I get past 20 books, I'm gonna write whatever the fuck I want. But I may write something that is set around Christmas, but not overly Christmas saturated. I did have one particular idea for a spin-off story for a side character in Son of the Slob, Morris. He's like a tapped Vietnam veteran, and I had an idea that I wanted to explore with him. So potentially something, but go ahead, Daniel. I'm sorry.
No, so we haven't talked about one of the most terrifying and unsettling holiday movies ever is Jack Frost with Michael Keaton when he's the fucking snowman. That movie's fucking creepy.
I thought you were going to talk about the other Jack Frost with the serial killer snowman. Have you seen that?
No, this is even scarier than that
too.
movie.
That's all, yeah.
Jack Frost, Michael Keaton, watch it. It's terrifying.
Does he rape a girl in a bathtub with his carrot?
Yes, twice.
Oh, I'm in. No. All right. Well, any rounding out thoughts that we have before we get to our reader recognition about holiday horror? Roland, why don't you answer the question first, though? Right? Did you you asked us if we're going to pursue it? What about you?
Well, originally PTSD was in a holiday collection called the Distended Table, which Trevor Kennedy and Russell Holbrook kind of put together. And so the answer for me, yes, I think I probably would, but I don't know. It's a hard question. So I'm not sure if I would do it or not. I think it would be, the sales would be too limited, so I would be hesitant to do it.
Yeah. I think that's a safe bet. And I think like maybe the message we could take away from this to recap for the aspiring authors who've maybe got a couple books out, not aspiring authors, at that point you're an author, but maybe, you're early in your career, I mean, or maybe you're an aspiring author and thinking of kicking off with that. I personally don't think it's a good idea. I think that's kind of the general consensus, make yourself, put out, unless you're just doing it for fun. But if you're doing it to sell books, then I would recommend, and I think it's safe to say it sounds like all of us would, early in your career, get those stories out that you're going to be able to get income on all year round, and don't shoehorn yourself into something. I mean, unless you have just like this fucking incredible idea and you want to do it for fun, and that's what you're doing. But if you're actually trying to build something to make revenue, it's probably not the best idea. And the more of those you do, the more you're limiting yourself, really. Outside of Christmas, we're talking about. Though most of that shit's probably fine, but that Christmas is really the red zone,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not only that, but you want to try to build your readership, because I think if we start releasing things holiday-wise, I feel like we have, even though we're still indie and we still have a small reader base, we'd probably be able to get some sales or some reads on a holiday story. But like Aaron said, I think for the most thing, if you're a newer author, you want to try to build that reader base. And you don't want to start out with the holiday stuff either, because then you kind of shoehorn yourself into that holiday author, niche, and you probably, unless that's what you really want to do, which it's fine, but you don't want to corner yourself. You don't want to typecast yourself, I guess I'd say.
Yeah.
Roland, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
Based on this entire conversation, what's the word of the day, would you say?
The word of the day?
I know what it is. No, it's not Halloween.
No, I say holiday.
No, it's not that.
Carver, do you have a guess since Daniel seems to know? What's your guess of what's the word of the day?
Word of the
Oh,
day.
I know.
You know?
No.
I know. Christmas.
No, it's not fucking Christmas.
What is it?
It's
All right,
fucking shoehorn.
It's shoehorn. Yeah, he's right. Because we've all fucking said, like, shoehorn mad times. And it's like, dude, when's the last time you actually used a shoehorn? They're fucking, like, real good at getting your foot in that shoe.
I don't think I've ever said the word shoehorn.
No.
I didn't say the word shoehorn. Y'all said the word shoehorn.
Are we shoehorning each other, dude? Is this?
I don't know what it is. We must be on some kind of subliminal messaging thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck it is. Something in the water. Or we said shoehorn about 46 times in this episode.
Yeah.
Somebody count them up for us. And email writtenandreadpodcast@gmail.com and let us know how many times we said shoehorn, including that time.
If I wasn't so fucking lazy when I produced the episode, I would do a shoehorn counter in the lower right, and then ding, like when the shoehorn comes. But I don't got time for all that.
Now we need for swag. We need written in red shoehorns
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. I like that.
Yeah.
that no one will fucking use because no one who uses it fucking shoehorn.
Apparently Aaron does. I don't know why, but whatever.
I haven't used one in years, but you know, when you go into the store, maybe you got a tight shoe, you got that nice silver horn. You slip it in there, pop that little tootsie right into
Yeah.
the shoe.
Do they ever? Does the salesman grab your foot and smell your feet? Say, "Oh, you got stinky ones there, little boy."
Yo,
That's disgusting. Yo, that's disgusting.
you're bringing back tough memories, bud. You're triggering me.
Sorry.
I vote cuckery as word of the day number 2.
Cuckfoolery. Yeah, cuckery is definitely a good one. Stay tuned for the episode after this because that's probably used a lot.
Yo, that's true, guys.
Yeah.
Next week, to give you a preview, the episode.
Next episode, not next week.
Next episode is Don't Feed the Trolls. So all these fucking trolls that want to shit, they want beef, they want to fuck with your
Cuckery.
head. They want to perform that cuckery out in broad public. I mean, we're going to solve that problem real quick next week.
Shoehorn you.
Ooh. All right, but let's get on to our reader recognition.
Roland, you crying? You all right,
Y'all
buddy?
make me laugh. You guys make me laugh.
Hey, no one's allowed to have a good time on this podcast.
No.
Fucking
Wipe
laughing.
those smiles off your face.
Fucking laughing anymore. Unless you're thinking about the Santa human centipede, then you can laugh.
That's one exception.
That's the only exception.
So, Roland, who do we got? I know you had a special person we wanted to recognize for this episode.
So I've recently, maybe a couple of months, maybe 2 months now, been in touch with someone from Denmark who has been so sweet and so nice and amazing. Her name is Avi Svensson. I think I said it right. And she has a blog that she does. I think it's called Trigger Warning Wednesdays. So I just want to recognize Avi and tell her how grateful I am for the amazing fan art that she created for me. It's outstanding. And like the kind words that she said about abortion, like I have been talking with her for the past month and a half, and it's been nothing but a pleasure. So I know she's reading a lot of you guys' stuff right now also. She is amazing. She does awesome reviews, and she is a hell of an artist. So I just want to recognize Avi Svensson and say thank you so much, Avi. I appreciate everything that you've done. I appreciate the review you did and the fan art, which is amazing. We'll show a picture of it, hopefully, at the end of this.
Yeah, and Roland, I mean, the fan art looks so good. It looked like it could be like a book cover or something, dude. Like, she did a really good job with that.
I'm already one step ahead of you, my friend.
And
Actually, I asked her if I could actually use the artwork because I didn't want to, I don't know. It's the first time I got fan art, so I wasn't sure if it would work. But I want to use that as my hardcover artwork for Abortion.
Yo, that's a fucking exclusive. That's awesome, Roland.
yo, that's
Definitely.
That's exclusive.
You heard it first, written in red.
Yes. So thank you, Avi.
That fan art, that was really impressive. Like, I can't draw for shit, but what I'd love to see her do a fan art picture of is Roland in the Maddening getting his genitals mutilated in the car wash.
Yeah!
And then Carver can use that as his hardcover for the Maddening.
That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's definitely a supporter of horror and Roland, like you said, that fan art picture for somebody to dedicate that much time and to put that much talent into something that is essentially a selfless project because they enjoyed your work so much is really a testament to their character. So we thank you for being so supportive of everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Avi, and we appreciate the shout out of the Written in Red podcast on. She actually worked it into your review on her website, Trigger Warning Wednesday, which we'll put up an image of that so you guys can check it out and go and check out her blog. And she said in her review of your book, she said this week's book is Abortion by Roland Bursey Jr. And then she went on to say that I first came across Roland when I stumbled over the Written in Red podcast. which is an awesome podcast with 4 indie horror authors discussing books, writing books, and publishing with a special focus on the horror aspect. And just for fun, FYI, I named the pigs in my Stardew Valley playthrough after these men. So Daniel, Roland,
awesome.
Carver, I mean, I'm just fucking honored to be a pig in this sweet woman's game.
Yeah, I'm definitely
That's
honored to be a
awesome,
pig.
I like, Roland, she named the pig Bercy. She just went with the last
Yes.
name, which is a cool sounding name.
It
It is.
Yeah, so
It's great.
we're all pigs.
That's pretty cool.
Nasty little pigs.
So thanks again. Be sure to check out Trigger Warning Wednesday. And again, we'll put up the image for you guys. And yeah, if anybody else has fan art, feel free to send it through. I've gotten a couple pieces in the past, and it's always just super flattering
Yeah.
and cool to see what people come up with, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I got that amazing fucking real life art by Brandon from Spook Rat Effects when he just created the pizza face cover on his own.
Oh, yeah.
And was like, hey dude, check it out. I'm like, holy shit, this is incredible.
That
You know?
dude's fucking awesome.
Oh, that's nice. That man is talented. I mean,
Yeah.
the video that he did for you, Daniel, and the other video from what did he do for?
He did So Sorry, that one
So
that me and
Sorry.
Daniel did.
Yeah.
He's
So when I was in New York, we got together and hung out, and he explained to me how he did a lot of the videos, and I don't want to give away his secrets, but it's what he does is amazing, and he's so talented. So just want to say hi, Brandon. We love you.
Yeah, dude. Thanks, Brandon. And I'm actually I'm working with him to do a little promotion package for the All Smiles Amazon release that just launched, and I love working with Brandon. So he's got a couple of ideas, and we sort of talked on the phone for a bit. And this is good, you know. I think it's a good thing to mention on the show too, because you want to have your little sort of network. That way, when you get to that point where you're sort of cranking out books consistently, you know, you have your cover artist, you have your editor, you got your video person that can, you know, you can work with them to hopefully put something out. And it's great because you have these positive relationships. These aren't just like working things. These are like friendships in a lot of cases. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
so thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Avi. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's it, guys, right? We're going to be fucking with the trolls next week.
Fuck them trolls.
Yeah. But I guess we could do our outro. And we may do some mailbag questions in the next episode potentially. Just as a heads up, we may pull a couple mailbag questions because we haven't done them in a while.
Yeah.
But today we're going to sign off. And again, I'm Aaron Beauregard, the Splatterpunk nominated horror author. I've just recently released Wedding Day Massacre and Scary Bastard on Audible. I would recommend checking out my social media and subscribing to my Substack. Today I just gave away 3 free audiobook codes for Scary Bastard. There's only a few hundred people on my Substack, so it's like if you join now, when I release these Audible books, you actually have a pretty good chance of landing a free code. And what it is Substack is a site that it's kind of like a live blog, but when you do a post, it sends an email to all the subscribers. And you don't get inundated with emails. It's just 1 email a month from me, but it keeps up with all the news and books and stuff. I tend to release, unreleased illustrations from books, sort of hyping stuff up. And then obviously the freebies, because I appreciate the sense of community. And I gotta say, I got a fucking mega announcement coming out within the next few months. It is a fucking game changer. So if you want to know about that in advance, I highly recommend you sign up to my Substack because I'm going to announce it there. And it's going to be something special. So, Daniel, what do you got for us?
I got a quick question for you.
Sure.
Your Substacks, is it separate than your mailing list, or is it the same as your
That
mailing
is the mailing list now, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I transitioned to it.
You released one today?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have your email though. I don't think I do.
Nope. I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah,
All right.
but yeah, basically like so when you do the post on Substack though, it stays there permanently. So like even if somebody missed the mail previously, they could go there and check it out still. You know what I mean? Like if they want to look at the old stuff, and yeah, I think it's just a great tool. Carver put us onto it, and I'd heard stuff about it before, and it's just worked great for me so far. It's taken a little bit to get used to with people coming into Substack and commenting. You know, as a little learning curve, but I think like the long-term benefits that are gonna be real good. You know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Daniel Volpe, you guys know me. Author of Talia, Billy Silver. Like I said, my newest one, Left to You, is out on Amazon, and A Gift of Death, my vampire novella, is out now in Audible as well. And like Aaron said, I switched my mailing list to Substack, and just like we're talking about giveaways and stuff, I'm gonna have some for. Actually, this should come out in time. In my December Substack, my next newsletter that's coming out, there will be free audiobook codes available as a contest, a little giveaway to my subscribers. So check me out on Substack, any social media. And guys, just one other thing too about the mailbag stuff. Please, if you guys have questions, feel free to email writtenredpodcast@gmail.com. Give us any questions you have. It doesn't even have to only be about writing. If you want to know some personal stuff, whatever, get into the weeds with us, feel free, reach out. You can even put them on the wall of the Written Red page on Facebook. So if you're not checked that out yet, please do that. We're always on there. We always answer questions. We might not answer too many questions because we'll save them for the show. But please send us some questions. We really enjoy doing it. And I like fucking with Carver when he's trying to pull them out of his that stupid ass fucking sand mug. So Roland Bursey.
Hey everybody, Roland Bursey Jr. Author of Unborn, Payback is a Witch, Pre-Thanksgiving Stress Disorder, and I'm working on 2 more. Hopefully, one will be out right after the New Year sometime, and another mid-year, maybe July next year. So working on 2 more things. You can find me on Facebook. You can visit me on my website, www.rolandburseyjr.com. If you ever want to find my stuff, all of it's on Amazon. And then I have my TikTok channel at Roland Bursey Jr. Carver?
I'm Carver Pike. I'm everywhere as Carver Pike on all the social medias, TikTok. What the fuck is so funny about that? You know what? Fuck you guys. My last book was The Maddening. What?
That's monster.
Thick.
Look at the girth on that. I love it.
Oh my god, it's so girthy.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can shoehorn that right up
The
your
last
ass.
book, the Diablo Snuff series, is the last book that I put out. But yeah, I'm on Substack too. I was gonna ask, can we put if it's not in the description of our videos on YouTube, can we put our Substacks in that description?
Yeah, dude.
Just
That's a good
Have
idea.
them all listed there, since the 3 of us are in Substack, and I think it's pretty much just. I think mine is like carverpike.substack.com. And then yours is
Super
the
easy.
same thing, like Aaron Beauregard.substack usually is how it goes, something like that, right?
Yeah, I'll hit you up and I'll get everybody's shit real quick, and then we can add them.
That way-
Roland, are you going to do a Substack too, or?
I haven't even thought about it. I don't know. Yeah,
Come on.
I'll should look into it.
All right. If not, I'll put your website.
Yeah, huh?
It's not hard. It literally, I can help you if you're interested in it. Hit one of us up.
Okay,
But
sure.
if not, we'll put your website or something.
Okay, sounds good.
Sorry, Carver. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Just I'm everywhere as Carver Pike.
Everywhere, dude.
Everywhere.
You are the
Carver
fucking
Pike.
man, dude. I don't know if I told you that.
I'm the man.
I love you, dude.
I love you too, man.
All right.
I'll
Well-
gladly be behind you in the centipede.
Listen, I roomed with Aaron. You don't want anything coming out of that butt, so you might not want. You want to reconsider that.
Yeah, hopefully you guys will find
Wow.
out soon enough. But again, because hopefully we're all going to be at Scares That Care if the world don't fucking collapse in on itself. Belly button Ren and Stimpy
yeah.
episode.
Shit, right?
But again, Briana Morgan is the spotlighted author. Eric Butler was also mentioned, and then thanks again to Avi and Brandon. And until next time, keep it 100% horror.